Well, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us for this introduction to the graduate programs, the Florida State University Department of Sport Management, presented as part of our College of Education Preview Week. My name is Jeff Ho. I am the Academic Program Specialist and Graduate Advisor for the Department of Sport Management. I'm joined today by Dr. Ryan Rodenberg, Associate Professor of Legal and Policy Issues in Sport. Dr. Rodenberg is here to provide a faculty perspective and to answer any questions you may have regarding curriculum and program philosophy. There will be a question and answer period at the end of today's presentation, so feel free to hold your questions until then or type them in the chat as we go, and I will answer them at the end. If you're with us today, chances are you've been in school for a long time, probably for most of your life up until now, and you may be thinking of a graduate degree as a culminating experience, a capstone achievement at the end of your life as a student. But I would challenge you to flip that perspective around and instead look at graduate school as a new beginning, a bridge between your student career and your professional career. It is an opportunity to further refine your skills and knowledge while applying them to real-world experiences. It's an opportunity to explore the variety of paths your career and life may follow in a safe and controlled environment, to try things out and to determine what you want and don't want in your career, and to make important connections with professionals already in the field and with your fellow students who will be joining you as alumni and colleagues. The sport industry is massive and diverse and constantly growing and changing. As technology advances and audiences interact with sport in new and innovative ways, sport industry professionals find new niches and do jobs that often didn't even exist when their careers began. It's the kind of career that you can do for the rest of your life and never have the same experience twice. A graduate degree from Florida State University will prepare you to navigate that changing landscape and find long-term fulfillment as you continue to grow with sport. Graduates of our program can be found all over the country and even all around the world, working in every facet of sport management. They are coaches and athletic directors. They are marketing executives and media professionals. They manage some of the largest professional sport operations in the country, and they make a meaningful impact on their communities through youth sports and public recreation. Highlighted here are just two of our recent alumni who are doing great things in the sport world. Kratik Malhotra is the Director of Sports Science and Analytics for the Texas A&M football team. With a diverse background in artificial intelligence, sport analytics, and sports science, Kratik has been an integral part of Jimbo Fisher's staff since 2013, when they were both still here at Florida State. His job combines computer vision, business intelligence, machine learning, data mining, and data visualization. A perfect example of a career that wouldn't even have existed in its current form just a few decades ago, and now is part of every successful sport organization in the country. Interesting fact about Kratik, he earned his master's in sport management from Florida State University, but his undergraduate degree was actually in engineering. And that's fairly common for our graduate students to come to sport management from very different undergraduate majors and careers. Brittany Telex is the manager of sponsor activation for ESPN and Disney advertising sales. She's responsible for identifying and developing new revenue streams for her company while helping create opportunities for sponsors to showcase their brands at some of the world's biggest sporting events like College Game Day, the College Football Playoffs, and the ESPY Awards. Brittany earned both her bachelor's and master's degrees in sport management here at Florida State University. It's no secret that the instruction students receive at FSU is second to none. But the sport management faculty are regarded as some of the best instructors even within the university. Our sport management faculty have been nominated for and received dozens of college and university teaching awards, including current professors, Dr. Katie Flanagan and Dr. Jason Pappas, who have received the University Teaching Award in the past 2 years. Dr. Flanagan is our Director of Service Learning, and Dr. Pappas is our Internship Coordinator, both professors who will play an important role in your life as a graduate student. Outside the university, our professors are known as some of the most productive sport management researchers in the world. They publish journal and magazine articles, present at major conferences, write books, and serve on the editorial boards of some of our industry's leading publications. Pictured here is Dr. Ryan Rodenberg, appearing on 60 Minutes in 2019. Among other things, Dr. Rodenberg is one of the leading experts in the field of sports betting, an area which has seen a huge surge in interest over the last several years. While enrolled at Florida State, students have a variety of opportunities to participate in extracurricular activities for their personal and professional enrichment that also impact the community and the industry as a whole. These opportunities extend from the local level, volunteering with youth and community sports, all the way to the international level, taking part in our global sport management program in Spain and the UK. Our Sport Management Student Association regularly brings groups of students to work at major sporting events, such as the Super Bowl, the Women's College World Series, the Women's Final Four, and the BCS National Championship game. The Sport Management Student Association also provides students with a number of networking opportunities, both at those major events and at their weekly club meetings here on campus. The department also hosts an annual conference that includes presentations by leading sport industry professionals and a networking fair where students can connect with companies where they might intern or find full-time jobs upon graduation. As a graduate student in our program, you will be a part of the FSU Sport Management family, and it's a big family. Close to 4,000 alumni work in every facet at every level of sport across the country, and our over 100 doctoral program alumni teach at major sport management programs around the world. Just about anywhere you go, FSU Sport Management alumni are quite literally changing the face of our sport. We pride ourselves on our rich diversity, with students of varying backgrounds and identities and from all over the world. Historically, the sport industry has not always been the most diverse or equitable, especially at the upper echelons of management and leadership. But part of our mission through higher education has been to change that. For example, 50% of our current PhD students are women. These students will earn their doctorates and go on to teach the next generation of sport professionals, influencing the future of the industry one class at a time. We also deeply value our international student population, with students currently enrolled from Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia, and the Americas. And some of these students will go on to careers here in the US, but many will return to their home countries and make their mark on their nation's respective sport industries. Here you can see the approximate size of our undergraduate, master's, and doctoral programs. With fewer than 200 graduate students and only about 400 students total, the department boasts the best of both large and small program experiences. Students enjoy all the resources and support of our incredible College of Education and have all the opportunities that only a premier collegiate athletic programs like ours can provide. At the same time, students have the advantage of really getting to know each other and their professors through their coursework and other department activities. These 12 core faculty members interact directly with every single student that passes through our graduate program. The importance of getting to know your professors and allowing them to get to know you truly cannot be overstated from a personal and professional development perspective, and it's one of the greatest strengths of our program. As we begin to go into the details of our graduate degrees, I'm going to focus primarily on the master's program. If you have questions about the PhD program and would like to hear more about it, we'll be happy to discuss that during the Q&A period at the end of today's presentation. The master's degree offers students the choice between two different tracks, depending on their individual interests and career goals. Most of our students, roughly 90%, pursue the coursework track, which includes a required practicum internship. This is the best degree track for students who want to go on to earn management jobs in the sport industry. Students may also elect to pursue the thesis track. This track is more appropriate for students with a particular interest in research or who plan to continue on to a PhD program. I would clarify that a master's thesis is usually not required to apply to most PhD programs, but you may find it helpful. Either track of the master's degree can be completed as quickly as 1 year, usually starting the program in the fall and graduating the following summer. Students may also elect to complete the degree in a more traditional sequence over 2 years, or even longer as a part-time student. We encourage students to take full advantage of the opportunities and resources they have here, and that can often be easier to do on a more relaxed timeline. But what's best for you will depend on your unique situation, but we give you the freedom to complete the degree as quickly or as slowly as you'd like. This flowchart displays in a very general way how the two degree tracks are similar, where they diverge, and where each might lead. Both tracks begin with coursework, most of which is identical between them, so you don't necessarily need to decide immediately if the practicum or the thesis is right for you. You can explore your options during your first semester while taking advantage of volunteering and networking opportunities. You might even pick up a field lab internship, which gives you the opportunity to try out different aspects of sport management while earning course credit. You can see on the next two slides how the coursework overlaps and differs between the two tracks. Both tracks include 4 main core classes: strategic management, marketing, media, and law. The coursework track also includes a required course in professional development and at least 1 practicum internship experience. You can actually complete up to 15 total hours of the 36-hour degree program in experiential learning, either practicum or the elective field lab internship. And that's nearly half the degree. Or you can complete just 1 3-credit-hour internship and load up on elective courses to complete your degree. As you can see, we offer a wide variety of electives to suit your interests and career goals, and we're expanding these offerings all the time. For example, in recent semesters, we've offered special advanced topics courses on Title IX and sport analytics. Students can also take courses focused on athletic coaching, either offered by our department or by the College of Education's athletic coaching degree and certificate programs. At the bottom of this list, you can see our 2 global sport classes, that would be global sport venues and global issues in sport management, which are part of our international program, which we'll talk about in just a moment. The thesis track replaces professional development and the practicum internship with courses in research methods and statistics, and of course, the thesis itself. Thesis track students have the same elective options, including the global sport classes, internship, and the professional development course if they want to take it. There is a 3rd offering at the master's level, which is the JDMS joint degree program in law and sport management. This is designed for students who intend to pursue careers as lawyers in the sport industry. It requires the thesis track and saves you significantly on tuition compared to completing both degrees separately. That's because some of your credit hours will count toward both degrees. If you're interested in completing the joint degree program, it begins with an application to the law school. You will then apply for the sport management program during your first year of law study. You would then complete your sport management coursework during your 2nd year and return to the law school for years 3 and 4. If you're interested in the JDMS joint degree program, Dr. Rodenberg can tell you all about it during the Q&A at the end of today's presentation. As I previously mentioned, we offer an opportunity for international study through our global sport management program. This is a 6-week program in the summer term that takes place in Valencia, Spain, and London, England. During that time, you'll complete 2 courses taught by FSU sport management professors and have opportunities to see major European sporting events and visit significant sport venues in Spain and the UK. While the program has been on hiatus for the past 2 summers due to the pandemic, we do expect to relaunch it in the summer of 2022. The application process for the graduate programs in sport management is very simple. For 2022, we are currently accepting applications for all semesters. Beginning in 2023, we will be transitioning to fall-only admissions. We make our admissions decisions on a rolling basis, so the earlier you complete your application, the earlier you'll have a decision. We encourage you to apply early, especially to ensure full consideration for assistantship funding. You do not need to wait until you've completed your current degree before applying. You can apply at any time in your senior year. The application requires a resume, a statement of purpose, and 3 letters of recommendation. The statement of purpose should be about 1 to 2 pages in length and should tell us about your background, as well as your educational and career goals. At least 2 of the letters of recommendation should be from professors or instructors who know you in an academic setting. You will also need to submit transcripts, but you can upload unofficial transcripts directly to your application to speed up your review. If you're admitted and choose to enroll, you should have your official transcripts sent at that time. Of course, FSU students don't need to send official transcripts as they're already in our system. However, uploading your unofficial transcript can sometimes help speed up our review process. The GRE is typically required for admission to our graduate programs. It has been waived through 2022 for the master's program only. It is still required for all PhD applicants, and beginning in 2023, we expect to require it for the GRE. We expect to require the GRE for master's applicants again as well. And now the slide you've all been waiting for, funding opportunities for graduate students. There are 2 primary ways that our graduate students get funding for their degrees. The department offers a select number of teaching assistantships through our lifetime activity program. These assistantships include a tuition waiver for either 9 or 12 credit hours, in-state and out-of-state, and usually run for 2 semesters. In return, the students will teach for the department a variety of activity-based elective courses, such as tennis, basketball, weight training, stretch and relaxation, esports, and self-defense. Most of these assistantships are awarded in the fall term, though we are sometimes able to make new assistantship offers in the spring. I strongly encourage you to apply early if assistantship funding is important to you. We typically begin making these offers in late March or early April, so you want to make sure your application is complete by February for full consideration. There is a separate application for the department teaching assistantship, which you can find on our website. Some of our graduate students also receive funding from GA positions within athletics. It's important to note that athletics is completely separate from the sport management department, and they have their own hiring process. You should reach out to them directly or inquire about GA positions. You should reach out to them directly to inquire about GA positions and how to apply. Some of their positions will be funded and some may be strictly volunteer. If you do receive a GA position with athletics, whether funded or unfunded, you may be able to count it for course credit toward the degree, depending on the nature of the job. There's a helpful staff directory on the athletics website, seminoles.com, which is a good place to start if you're not sure where to make your initial contacts. Either a front office contact or a director of operations is usually a good person to start with your initial inquiries. One last note about funding. Depending on the hours required for each position, it may be possible for you to accept both a department teaching assistantship and the GA position with athletics. So please let us know if you're considering multiple offers. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for any questions you may have, either for me or for Dr. Rodenberg. Please feel free to raise your hand and unmute yourself or ask in the chat. Or Dr. Rodenberg, if you want to jump in and add anything.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm happy to add a few comments at the outset as we wait for the questions to come in. And feel free just to interrupt me if I happen to miss a question on the chat or with anybody that raises their hand. Jeff summarized the master's program primarily. I can provide some insight on the PhD program as well, because certainly that's a central feature of our graduate program. Unlike a master's program, a PhD is certainly longer in duration. It's a research-intensive degree that prepares students for faculty positions. Since I've arrived in 2010, we have a 100% placement rate for PhD graduates looking to go into academia. But I always mention at the same time, you certainly can pursue a PhD and not have the outlook of moving into academia. Increasingly, sports leagues, other governing bodies, teams, sport industry players and stakeholders are increasingly looking for PhD level applicants for certain very technical jobs. There's been a lot of discussion recently about the role of analytics in the sport industry. Certainly that's a pretty easy example of where PhD level studies can lend themselves to securing placement in the sport industry. My background, I certainly went to law school initially. I did work in the sport industry for 7 years before returning back to earn a PhD. So I have a fairly good grasp of both the academic and the industry sides of this industry specifically. And when I was working in industry from 2000 to 2007, that was about the time when the analytics turn started in the sport industry. And it's certainly been really interesting to follow. So for students that are inclined in that realm, that's always a pathway for them to work in the industry as well.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. If there are no questions here, I'm going to go ahead and reshare my screen so I can put my contact information up. So I'd like to thank you for joining us today. My contact information is on the screen, if I did that correctly at least. Please feel free to email, call, or stop by and see me in Tully Gym anytime. Have a wonderful day and go Noles.